Welcome back, my homies. Guess what it is? 2025. Can you imagine like being maybe 10 and people say, oh, yeah, we'll do that in 2025, and now it's here. So, happy new year, my homies, and welcome back to the Please Do Tell podcast. Boy, do we have quite a bit to talk about, okay? So we're kicking off this year with some big plans, exciting stories, of course, and dare I say it, little surprise. Stay tuned for a teaser because it's gonna be just smooth sailing here on out, okay? 2025 is gonna be a great year, and it's gonna be some transitions there. But first, I want to thank you for rocking with your girl for the last year, or this is actually our 5th year of the Please Do Tell podcast. On August 4th, it'll be 5 years since being, doing, collecting, enjoying laughter, tears of stories with Please Do Tell. So I'm really excited about that. But I thank you for sharing this platform with your friends, your family, your coworkers. And me being bold enough also is I'm sharing it more as well, like even in small settings. At first I wasn't doing that. I don't always toot my own horn, but I definitely had started doing it, especially with the new year and especially with the changes that we have coming up. But again, thank you. Thank you so much for your continuous support of the Please Do Tell podcast, because I really feel like you love stories, right? Okay. All right. So, a quick recap of let's think of the last year. We were able to launch the digital version of Retracing Their Steps. The actual exhibit was in the fall. I was a part of the 2024 class of Bold Women of Business for Moody on the Market in Southwest Michigan. And I feel like my best friend beat cancer. If that's I'm just going to say, you know what? She knocked that out the park. And it was a conversation that my friends were having maybe it was a couple of days ago about how we're hearing so much of people being diagnosed with cancer. And we were wondering if that was social media. But I feel like it hits a little different, especially when it's personal, when it's someone in your circle and you're able to witness really God at work. And so I'm just, again, I'm very thankful for what God has done in all of our lives this year. My best friends, my family, my extended friends, and my homies. For a lot of you, you are celebrating some things that you've overcome last year as well. I'm back in therapy, which has been just amazing. I look forward to it bi-weekly. And my manicure Mondays, they're still on and popping. Today, I am wearing Reach New Heights because that's how I'm looking at 2025. So that's my first manicure of 2025 is Reach New Heights. So that's my vision for this year. And of course, continuously chasing that place of joy. And it's not a physical place, but just for myself, like, where do I find joy? And this year will be my 41st birthday. So I've made a commitment that every month I'm going to try something new for the first time. So this month, I'll be rolling it out, but I definitely want to share with you that I have always wanted to try out improv. So I tried out improv for the first time last week, and wow, it's totally different from me receiving a script and saying, hey, make these words come to life. It's really off the dome, off the cuff. It was great, and hopefully I can recruit some friends to come with me too. So it's right in my backyard. I think the issue with it before is that it was at least 30 minutes for me to commute to the class, and it was in the evening, so that was a little hard for me to get to. So I'm excited that there's one really the next town over. So it's great. Let's see. Gosh, last year was wild. It was a lot of tears also. Some transitions for me. I started a new job, which was tears. Those were actually tears of joy. being a bereavement coordinator and being able to work within so many different communities and helping people with grief, education, and peer to peer support. So, yeah, being at Lori's Place, especially in the season of my life, has been an absolute blessing. And that started last year as well. Losing family members. I still think about my cousin Perry, who was also a part of. He. How many episodes did he have? Two. I think it was two or three episodes on the podcast, because his content was really really good. So I was able to meet with his fiance. We had dinner. So there were just a lot of highs. It was some lows, but it was a lot of highs last year. So I'm excited to see what's gonna come in 2025. When I think about, and the story time is today is new year, new stories. Clearly big changes are ahead of us, right? Um, Last year really taught me to stop waiting. I said this before, but I mean, I felt like it was right in my face. Last year, I did a lot of moving around. I was able to visit my grandmother's birthplace. So I think that was probably really up there. I was in Dallas for my best friend's surgery. And then a couple days later, I was able to fly out to Arkansas, to Little Rock, Arkansas. And when I initially started retracing their steps and even starting into genealogy and trying to find my family, is that I was stuck on one story. The one story of who are my dad's people. And we know with many other stories and many journeys that there's already many stories within that journey that you're already on. And I think that I've learned that every chapter in life deserves its own story. But here's the kicker, because I told you, like, they can change right in the middle. And in the middle for me was I was so fixated on, I wanted to find out who my great grandfather was, who his wife was his wife actually my great grandmother. Like, I was going through all these changes, but it was more than anything is that the chapter that I love the most is that I'm still able to find family and reconnect with them and laugh with them and share new memories with them and get to know more about them. I was on Instagram. The cousin that I met, she actually lives in Dallas, and her father is the one who's named after my great grandfather. I log in. The beautiful thing about us being connected on social media, sometimes you forget, or our lives are so crazy, but when you log in, you see things of like an engagement and just the excitement of, I was like, wow, I just met this cousin for the first time in person a couple years ago, and she's getting married. So I'm able to celebrate like those wins with my family that I didn't know 5 years ago. But now that I know them today, I'm just excited to see what's happening in their lives. And that's another chapter, a chapter of discovering who my maternal side is. I don't know. I think I told y'all in the last episode, I don't know much about my mom's dad, but I get to go down that journey soon. But I know of course I have to tie up some loose ends with my own story when it comes to retracing their steps for my Williams and Steele side. So I'm just excited about sharing those new chapters with you as we have more people that are actually coming and contacting me and saying, hey, we want to do our own retracing their steps exhibit, which is just music to my ears. And just the fact that people are really excited about diving into their family story and want to share it with the world. So, of course, we are definitely excited about being a part of that. I don't think I've done this enough, or pushing it enough, is that I want to be able to And I said this before, like when I was a part of the pitch competition, which was another thing that I did last year. The pitch competition is that I wanted to be able to collect stories remote, and we get to do more of that because I know it's a lot when I'm asking you all, like, hey, can you type up a story and send it to me? Or can you send in a voice clip and I'll include that on the podcast? And, I think, I know a lot of people say, I just want to sit down and talk to you. I just want to sit down and share my story with you. So I'm going to have more of that in 2025. And, because what's a story you want to rewrite this year? What is it? What is a story that you want to share this year? As I stated before, I have so many people on my feed, people that I went to high school with, that are celebrating ringing that bell after conquering this journey of cancer. And that is a story in itself. So I'm looking forward to honestly sharing a lot of those stories. Like, hey, I want to know, how do people rally around you? How do they support you? And so more of that in 2025 too, because I don't think we really talk about that enough, like your support system when you're going through any type of illness or diagnosis. You definitely need your village. And I know my friend and I have talked about this because his sister is actually going through chemo, and he was saying just like she has nobody around her. So we want to be able to change that, okay? So more community stories. Now here's the fun part. I've been working behind the scenes and to bring something fresh to Please Do Tell. Now, in the past we've done a lot of interviews. We've been able to hear some cool stories. You've probably already, if you haven't, you probably need to go back and watch the What's Your Why series when we were actually doing series, or the Everyday People of 49022, because you're seeing and you're hearing voices that are not mine. they're community voices that it's some amazing stories in there. You can learn a lot from them. And so when you get a chance, go back and look at a lot of those episodes. But I think it was after a board meeting, I was talking to a friend and I said, what would it look like to have a co-host? So we started working through that, and he said, oh, well, you said you want to be remote and you want to be able to record and then just have it edited later. I was like, yeah. And then I said, well, what would it look like if I did have one? Like really, really work with it. So I want to give you a clue. They have a knack for asking the tough questions and cracking the best jokes. If you have any guesses, DM me. You can DM me on the Please Do Tell podcast page on IG, or on Ronnika.Williams on IG as well. DM me and let me know what your guess is. Because once you see who it is, you're going to be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. I think that this person's going to bring a different perspective of stories when it comes to, we both grew up in the church. So we have plenty of church stories. And this person is a man. He's a man. Or we joke, we like, he's a man's man. Whatever that means. You used to hear that growing up. He's a man's man. But he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He loves talking about politics. Like, he might even went to the President Jimmy Carter's funeral is today as we're recording. He probably even went. So I need to probably call him afterwards to see if he went to that. He's always been into politics. He's always been into sports. Like, he can tell you in and out. We know not to contact him on Sundays. Football Sundays, it's just don't even do it. He's not going to answer. He's not going to answer. He's not planning anything. He's not traveling. Football Sunday is off limits. He's watching football. So if you have any idea who I'm talking about, again, DM me. Trust me, this edition will elevate our storytelling game and bring a dynamic energy to the pod. So stay tuned. We'll officially reveal my co host in the next episode, okay? All right, so before we wrap, I want to make sure that you're following Please Do Tell on social media. On social media. Or you could follow me too. Follow me too. Okay. Ronnika.Williams on IG. I'm on Facebook as well, but be sure to follow us and more updates, sneak peeks. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. You know we love those, and they help us. They help us to be able to share with other homies and recruit new homies. So we really need you to do that. So I appreciate those that have, and also share it to your other homies so they can do so as well. But until next time, I want to keep telling your stories, and because your voice matters, and I want to see you next week because again we get to announce our new co-host. I'm so excited. 2025 is going to be amazing. So do not get left in the dust, okay? You got to be on this ride. You got to do it. So thank you, my homies. We'll see you next time. I'm your homegirl, Ronnika, and I'll holla.